behind the scenes, between the lines, and before the credits roll. This is Olivia. Welcome to Stardust Wonders.
How are you, Josie?
I'm good. I just got back from a little family reunion, so I'm a little
Ooh.
sleepy, but otherwise I'm good. Packing up, getting ready for school. So
When do you start? You're going back to Arizona, right?
I will be returning in 5 days, but we don't start for another 2 weeks. I just
Oh,
have to,
wow.
yeah, I have a lot of senior capstone meetings that I have to do
Hmm.
before the semester starts.
So you're really busy. So I just kind of want to get into some time capsule moments. What are three moments that you think are the most significant for you this past year?
First one, I mean, is my first short film finally finally made and produced, edited, posted, which was the most exciting part. I think that was huge just to see such a big project in my experience because I hadn't really done anything myself yet come to life. I spent a lot of my college career kind of watching everybody figure out how the short film scene worked before I finally did my own. So I was
Mhm.
really excited and I was lucky to have a lot of support by the time I finally did my own thing. So that's one. Second one would be recently getting greenlit by Arizona State to make my senior capstone 10-minute film. That was a really long time coming. I wrote it about 2 years ago. Everybody told me not to pitch it because it wasn't something that seemed like it would get greenlit.
Mhm.
Um, Ultimately, because it's like a crime action, and that's just kind of very outside the general tone of a
Mhm.
lot of the capstone films, but I did it
Okay.
anyway, and I was really excited because after a lot of pushing,
Yay.
they decided to let me through. Um, and then if I were to pick a third one, I do think it would be just this summer at the theater. Mainly Thunderbolts was the big standout for me,
Mm.
along with Ballerina. I think those two were vital just to remind me of why I'm doing this and why I'm pursuing a career in this. And so just like anytime I see a good movie, it brings me back, but those ones especially were huge for me this year. So
Not I haven't watched Thunderbolts yet or Ballerina. I know it's like there's such significant films of this year, but I just haven't gotten myself to watch it yet. I don't know if it's
yeah.
because like the hype of it all or if I'm just like in my nostalgic phase because I'm rewatching a lot of like 80s and 90s rom-coms
Oh,
at the moment. So I don't know which one it is, but I'm ashamed to say that I have not watched either of them yet.
that's fair. I got an AMC A-list pass this summer, so I've been able to see everything like 3 times. So that's the only reason I've been able to see everything.
Jealous. But no, yeah, talking about big tech petty crime, just
Mhm.
from like the perspective of a creative myself, I feel like being able to see what you wrote or what you imagined on screen is it kind of grounds you in a way because you're actually able to see it now rather than just imagining it in your head. So like kudos to you for being able to do that. And then for your capstone, they have a certain way of how they want certain projects to look. And they already have so many projects that like have the same genre and they're like, that's how we want this to be
Mhm.
done. Like these are the genres we want. But I feel like without people like you like going out and like pitching like out of the box ideas, the industry would just be stagnant kind of, like we would not have like innovative films or different perspectives.
That
So I
was
feel
that
like they
was
probably saw that in you.
Yeah, that was the whole gamble is I was like,
Mm-hmm.
if they accept it, it will be so awesome. But if they don't, then
Mm-hmm.
it'll all just stay the same. So it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping for mainly for
Yeah.
my sake, but also like you guys should let other ideas in. That would be really
Yeah.
cool.
If you don't go out there and ask, like you're not gonna know. Like
Yeah.
the what, they're gonna say no, but at least you went out there and like pitched it, you went out there and asked, you tried to reach your goal. So I'm like, you know what? Yeah, even though I'm nervous, even though you probably are like, you still went out there and did it?
Yeah.
So,
If you I think it was my mom that told me once. She was like, if you
mhm,
don't ask, the answer is always no. So you might as well
yeah.
just ask.
Yeah, I feel like as the years go by, I'm like, you know what? It's true. If I don't go out there and ask, it's gonna be a no. I'm gonna be staying here doing nothing and just wondering what if.
exactly.
So I feel like we always need that like kind of push from someone or even from like watching things, like just being able to get inspired from things, you kind of get that push as well.
Hmm.
So that's
Definitely.
really good. I'm so excited. Even though I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. I don't know if you'll be putting it on YouTube, but I'm like I'm excited for you. Just the just the
Yeah,
prospect, just the idea of it. I'm like, yes.
I definitely would like to put it on YouTube. I think we're gonna try to do a big festival run first,
Mm.
but then eventually I'm like,
Ooh.
I want to share it with everybody. I think
That'll be
that's
so exciting though. A whole
yeah.
festival run for it.
Hmm.
Now let's actually dive into your career and just when did you realize, when was the first moment that you realized you wanted to kind of create? And were there any moments, particular moments that kind of stood out, or was it like a culmination of things? Did you just grow up watching things? Was it a person? Like, tell us.
I so badly wished that I could be one of those people that came into film school like, yeah, I've been making movies on my
Yeah.
camcorder since I was 4 years old. But I was not. I was a huge writer though. I grew up just always either pencil to paper in class on lined paper, writing these
Mm.
like long stories, and then that evolved into these giant Google Doc things where I would just write them all out and I would
Oh my
harass all my
gosh.
mom's friends to read them and send me notes and stuff. So for a long time, I thought I was going to be a writer.
Mhm.
And then I was like, I don't really want to sit in a room alone all day though and write. That
Mm.
sounds really sad. I want to be out with people and have a career that allows me to like do cool stuff.
Mm.
Um, and so then I was stuck for a while. And when I was applying to school, I was kind of thinking back to everything that I was doing because all of my applications were like pick a major. And I was like, oh, I have to
Mm.
film?
That's the most daunting part,
Yeah. And
truly.
so when I picked film, it was kind of like it would be so cool if I could do this. It didn't seem plausible, but I was like, why
Mm.
not? If I hate it, I'll change.
Yeah.
Um, And so it was kind of like it combined my desire to do something creative with something that you're around a lot of people all the time. And I have a very like STEM brain. And so there's a lot of obviously tech and editing and software and all of
Yeah.
that fun stuff involved in film. And so it was kind of like a happy medium between all of those. And so I was kind of like, yeah, sure, why not? But I think if I were to pinpoint like a piece of media that really made me go, I need to do something with creativity and
Mhm.
storytelling with my life, it would be Avatar, The Last Airbender. I watched that show with my best friend in like 2020. We binged like the whole thing in like 3 days. And we were just like obsessed with it for the next year. And I was like, it would be amazing if I could make something as close to as perfect as this show feels to me. So that was kind of the like over the edge of I'm gonna do something creative,
Mm.
and it was just okay, what? So
So that was kind of like the push for you
yeah,
to explore more into it, kind of thing.
yeah. It kind of was the like. I mean, I guess I probably could actually do this for my life. At least that is an option, you know. I
Okay,
don't
now
have.
going off of that,
Uh,
when was the point where you realized there was no going back? Like this is what you were going to pursue. Like nothing was going to stop you.
um, I think the second I got to class and I realized how out of my like zone I was because I was in these intro classes, right?
Hmm.
And everyone's like, this is so boring. Like, this is just like medium shot, wide shot. Like, everybody knows this. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know this. This
There's
is
no
really,
way they all knew.
I
There's
was like,
no
I don't know what
way.
any of this stuff is. So it was like, once I started to put my mind into just trying to learn everything that I could about
Hmm.
film, where I realized that I loved it. And then just thinking about the future once I started kind of getting into film, I just realized that I couldn't see myself doing anything else. Like when I
Hmm.
picture myself in the future, I can't do like an office job and I can't do like anything that's not out making something, bringing it to
Hmm.
life. And then I mean the end goal is just I'm like, I wanna be on some stage, winning an
Hmm.
Oscar, winning an Emmy, winning something that just kind of acknowledges that everything that I've worked towards was
Hmm.
recognized. So that's like
I
the
feel like I feel like you were in that moment where you were in class, you were kind of marinating, taking everything in, and that was like, oh, that's exactly it. Because for me too, every single time anyone asks me, what do you want to do for your future? I'm like, the first thing I say is, I don't want to be in a cubicle. I do not want to work a nine
yeah.
to five just sitting there. Like I have to move around.
Mhm.
I feel like because we grew up in a world where everyone's just in cubicles or working nine to fives, like that's the traditional route. And I feel like not a lot of people understand the creative route of things. So when we say something like that, they're like, what?
Yeah, and there's a lot of like, oh, well, if you do film, like you're probably gonna have to live in a one bedroom with four
Mm-hmm.
roommates for a long time. And I was like, well, it's better than working in an office. Like I
Or like they'll be like, what's your backup? And I'm like, what's your backup if a law
exactly.
doesn't work or a med school doesn't work? Like, do you have one?
Yeah. I'm like in this job market, I might as well just do whatever
Yeah,
I want because it's hard.
exactly. Yeah. On TikTok, they're like, the percentage, the chance of me getting a real job and me pursuing something that I really want are the same at this point because
Yeah,
the job market sucks. And I'm like, yeah, probably because it really does suck at the moment. So
terrible.
put yourself out there.
Yep, might as
Yeah.
well.
Because if you don't take that chance, you'll never know.
Hmm.
Story wise, when you create your stories, is it something that just kind of like comes up in your head? Like for me, I know when I think of like what I want to write as like a screenwriter kind of thing, I just have like a story in my head and it kind of just flows. Do you
Hmm.
have, is it the same for you? Do you have like a process where you have to like write out all your ideas first? How do you go about like the character arcs and stuff?
I'm definitely still kind of honing that in. I feel like my current process is I usually start with my characters first.
Hmm.
I have a lot of just like characters swimming around that are
More
just kind of,
character driven stories.
yeah, waiting for the right story, I guess.
Mhm.
And so usually what'll happen is I'll find a character and I'll kind of then figure out like the vibe of the thing. Like, is it
Mhm.
gonna be a like 90s comedy? Is it gonna be like a dark
Yeah.
noir fight thing? Is it gonna be
Mhm.
like a drama? Like what is and something that I've realized about myself is I have to attribute like a color to every
Oh,
I make. Um
explain a little bit more about that.
yeah, so like with Big Talk Petty Crime, for
Mhm.
instance, that one's very like yellowy orange vintagey in my head.
Mm.
I think it's part of it is because it I know it helps me when I eventually do the promo for it. I have like a
Mhm.
solid brand
Like the
idea.
color scheme and everything.
Yeah, but it helps me to separate all of my projects and it kind of gets me into more of like a zone.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
and so I mean for my capstone is very like black, dark reds, dark,
Mm.
moody, like low
Oh,
light type
now
of
I really want to know the story.
yeah. So they're all very different and I think that helps
Mhm.
me keep them kind of separated.
Mhm.
Um, and then the other thing that I realized about that is a lot of shows or movies that I watch and like enjoy, but they don't stick with me are because they don't have a solid color or vibe.
Mm.
I watched a show recently and I was like, this is so awesome. I can't believe this didn't get more like nobody was really talking about this.
Mhm.
And then I forgot about it a week later because there was no like standout
Mhm.
like thing to lock in my brain. And then when I
Okay, okay.
looked at the shows and movies that I like, they all kind of had like a big color element. And I was like, that's very interesting.
Mm. Kind of like brought you into that world, brought you into the
Yeah.
journey kind of thing.
Yeah. And so once I have the characters in their world, then I just kind of start doing the whole like, what is the worst thing that could happen to them? And I just kind of go from there. And it usually takes me a couple of drafts to figure out what they're doing.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
I think my when I have the most fun is when I'm just playing with the characters and writing these ridiculously long scenes of everybody just like interacting and hanging out, and then I get a good feel for them. So when I write the real thing, I know kind of what's going on in all of their brains.
I feel like that process is so much better than mine because I always have this one idea already in my head. And
Mhm.
then, like, while I'm sleeping, I'll think of another idea. And then when I wake up the next day, I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I want to change it? Do I want to
Yeah.
keep it? What am I
Yep.
doing? I'm just sitting there contemplating, not doing anything, staring at my laptop. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel crippled. I don't know what I'm doing.
Like it's stuck. My favorite thing to do is write things out on a whiteboard because it feels
Hmm.
very non-committal.
I
Like if
feel
I
like
write
that's
it
very
out,
writer's room vibes.
yeah, I'm like if I hate it, then I
Yeah.
just wipe it off. And it's not like a pencil where you can still kind of see it on the paper or like
Hmm.
a doc where it's just like I don't know, I don't like doing a lot of brainstorming on in stuff in docs because then I feel like I'm just wasting space on my computer. So then I'll just
Honestly, probably, because
spend
that's
a
what
lot
I
of
do.
time and then at the end I'll like take a picture of the whiteboard and then translate
Mm,
the good stuff into like a doc or something and then I can
okay.
kind of go from there. But yeah, I like the whiteboard.
I feel like that's probably better. Because then once you erase it, it's gone. You don't even have to think about it. You don't ever see the remnants of it on your Google Drive or anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
There have been a couple times where like I'll be going through like a doc full of ideas and
Hmm.
then I'm like, wait, I thought I cut that. Am I still doing was that the plan?
Yeah, I
And then,
feel like once that happens, we're still thinking over in our heads, like,
yeah.
should I have done that? Like, am I second guessing myself?
Yeah.
Probably, but give
If
me
I
another
didn't
hour to stare at it.
if I didn't delete it, is it because I was supposed to come back to it or no? What's
Yeah.
going on? I don't know.
I probably
So,
should switch to a whiteboard because that's exactly what I do every single time I open my drive and I'm like, wait. And I'm like,
yeah.
wait, that's actually a good idea. Is that why I didn't delete it? And I'm like,
Mhm.
same cycle over and over again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is there a genre that you really like to write about?
Yes. Anything that has some sort of crime element I've found that I'm really, really drawn to.
Hmm.
All of the movies I think in my top four all have some element of like a crime committed in them.
Oh,
And I took a directing class last semester that made me really she was like, okay, but why? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, okay, well,
I
you need
hate
to
those questions. I
I was like,
really do hate those
what else you need to think
questions
about?
because sometimes
I was
you
like,
just like something because you like it.
yeah. And
So there's
then
like,
yeah, she was right. And so I really looked into it and I realized it's because it's crime is a fun way where one there's so many different kinds. So nothing,
sometimes
nothing
the outlandish ideas work because it's a crime.
yeah. And then also I realized that it kind of brings like a life or death kind of
Mm.
stake to any character theme or like
Mm.
motif or motivation where it's like you could have like with Big Talk, it's at its core, it's about two siblings who thought they knew each other, realized they didn't, and are now
Mm.
on this journey to get to know each other better. But when it's in the lens of like, and also part of this is because they just killed someone and they're on the run from the police. It's kind of like
Hmm.
oh, well, that's now it's even more intense. And sometimes like when I'm in regular people's situations, I feel
Hmm.
like I'm like you would think by the way that I'm freaking out that I'm on the run from the police. So it's a way for me to like put the stakes that sometimes it feels like into reality just so it feels
Hmm.
a little less crazy to feel in real life like why am I so stressed about doing this like just talking to my brother? Why is that
Yeah, yeah,
why am I so like okay, don't say anything weird. Like, be cool. Like, do I know you? Like, I haven't seen you in so many months.
yeah, yeah.
What's new? And I'm like, why do I feel like I'm being interviewed by the cops right now? So it's just I found it's just my way of like putting those feelings into a story so that the stakes are already kind of there almost.
When you have crimes and like relationships like that, it kind of like grounds them and makes them
Mhm.
think a little more rather
Yeah.
than, second guessing themselves. It's whatever pops up is whatever they're actually feeling. So
Yep.
that kind of
Yeah.
like helps with the story. Now, looking at the industry, do you
Mhm.
have any like hopes of what it would look like or should look like? Are there any things you wish kind of like changed?
Man, I mean, there's
There's
a
a
lot
lot, I
that
know.
needs to change about the current industry. I think the main issues that I'm having are, I mean, as much as I want to say, like, I want to see more women in action and crime type of stories that extends to behind the camera, I feel like there's just still, as much as people want to say that there's just still not a huge place for women
There's
in the
such a
industry.
lack in that.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's really sad because it feels like even in school, you're like, oh my God, half of this major is just like a boys' club. Like,
hmm
what are we doing?
yeah. Like when I was in my writer's class at Emerson, I was like one out of three girls who were in that class, and we had like 21 kids. And I'm
Yep.
like, what are we doing? I know there are a lot of girls coming to Emerson. Like, I see them everywhere. They're in my
Yeah,
other classes. Like, where are you? Is
exactly.
it because they don't want to do it? Like, what is it? Like,
And yeah, I don't know. It's so frustrating though because I'm like, I know
yeah.
there are so many women even just at my school that deserve to succeed and are
hmm
very good at what they do, but it's hard for them to get recognition at all, even within the
hmm
school. It's just like, oh, but this guy did something.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like whenever it's a girl against a guy, there's always such a double standard. Like
Mm,
the dude will just pick up a pencil and they're like, yeah, this girl like
yeah.
gets like everyone's orders, remembers it, like handles that on top of like admin stuff, and they're like,
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that's your job. And you're like, oh, okay,
congratulations, what do you want?
exactly.
It's such a double standard.
It's really unfortunate. So I think really I just want to bring I would like to see more women in the industry, and I think that will also help me in kind of a roundabout way because there's just it's I find it a lot easier to network and connect with women over men.
hmm
Um, and so I'm just like, if there were more women in the industry, I'd probably have a lot easier of a time getting into the industry because those
hmm
are the people that I connect best with and that I talk to the most and can actually open up with. Um, and so I just think more like really that would be my
Women.
main thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like in a very superficial level, women know each other. They know
Yeah,
what we've been through, and I feel
exactly.
like they're more willing to help, kind of,
Yeah.
Women, step up. Let's go.
Yeah.
We can
Come
do
on.
this.
We gotta help each other.
Still waiting.
Yeah.
We're little babies here. We need help.
Mm-hmm.
For this next part, it's obviously very vulnerable and also very special because you get to write a letter to yourself, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now. Obviously, I already told you to write that before the interview. So just take some time now, breathe, and get into that moment. And whenever you're ready, you can read your letter.
All right. Okay. A brief letter to my future self. This is harder than I expected. I'm at a point where my life where I don't know where I'll be this time next year, let alone 10 years from now. But I have a feeling that it will all work out. I have a tendency to overlook how far I've come, so I hope in 10 years' time the progress will be hard to ignore. If I were to imagine myself 10 years from now, I'd be in Los Angeles, and my final year of ASU film school would be a fond memory but a distant one. It's nice knowing that problems that feel like the end of the world now will probably be a vague memory by the time I read this again. I hope I have a nice place and live well. I don't know what specifically I'll be doing in film, but if I had my way, I'm working for a big studio and I've got a few prestigious awards shelved in my living room. I hope in 10 years' time, I'm just as passionate about getting Target Eye made if I haven't already. These characters that got me through so much of high school and college have so much potential to connect with more kids who felt just as lost as I did. I hope that in 10 years I'll have molded myself into more of an extrovert. As it stands now, networking is a challenge for me, but I hope I find the strength to take chances and meet new people. I found a way to get wherever I put my mind to, so I can't wait to see how that extends into film and career goals in the next 10 years. Overall, I want to remind myself that my life is mine and no one else's. I hope I keep and continue to grow my ability to have confidence in not only who I am as a creative, but who I am outside that and as a person. Love me.
Oh my gosh. I feel like that one is so personal. Like what you wrote, I feel like you sat there and like was thinking, was imagining like 10 years from now what would happen. And honestly, I hope in 10 years you get those awards. I
I
feel
hope so
like,
too. Nice. I told my mom that I'm taking her to the Oscars someday, so I gotta make.
oh, love that. I feel so honored to have read like heard that because I'm like, you know what? I will be rooting for you. You will get those Oscars and you're gonna make it in the industry. Like I can
That's the
see it.
hope. That's the hope.
And then when you make it, I'm gonna tag along.
Yep, yep. That's how you gotta do it. That's how you gotta do
Yeah.
it.
I literally joke around with my friends about this all the time. And I'm like, if you guys make it, don't forget me.
Yeah, we have
Give
that
me an
same thing with
assistant job or something. Like, I'll be your
God,
assistant.
yeah.
I already know you. It's okay.
Exactly. We have this like pact, the three of us were like, the second one of us gets in anywhere,
Yeah.
we all have agreed that we gotta bring each other in. And I'm like, yes, this is the
Yeah.
alliance that I need.
I feel like those kind of friendships are like here to last. Like when you start joking about all that and like you're so like in the future, including each other, I'm like, it's bound to last. There's no way. I'm so honored that you accepted this interview. So before we part ways, I have a little wrap up. What are a few words that you would use to kind of sum up your journey as of now?
I mean, really like barely started. I feel like
Yeah.
I've really just I haven't gotten a chance to do everything even in close to what I want to do yet. But I feel like I'm just kind of right there, and I'm very excited to just dive in. So I mean,
Barely
I
started, but
said
you've
started,
already made some short films.
but hopeful,
Barely
you know.
started.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel good about where I am. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to just keep going.
I'm so excited for everything you're gonna accomplish.
I'm glad you like the film. That
It was
I'm always so excited to hear that
it
people
was
liked
very
it.
good. What are you looking forward to? What are some things that are in the works now that you're back in uni? Well, obviously going to be back in uni
Yeah.
and your capstone got approved. Are there any like dream projects you're working up or imagining or anything like that?
I mean, my capstone film Roulette is taking the forefront of everything that I do right now.
Mhm.
It's a huge, huge project. So that's the main thing. I have a TV pilot. I took a year-long like pilot
Ooh,
writing course, and that's like my other secret love that I can't wait for. But it's that's another like I think that one would probably have to go through a bigger
mm,
studio. I don't think I could just make that myself. So I'm just kind of holding on to it, go through
yeah,
editing what I think should be edited and just rereading it
near and
throughout.
dear passion project.
Yeah,
Got a few of
exactly.
those myself.
Hmm.
But yeah, I get that. It's some things you want to do yourself and like want to be able to do it in a bigger scale kind of thing.
Yeah,
So I totally get
exactly.
that.
I was like, if I'm gonna make this, I can't half-ass it. I gotta do it all the way. Of
Thank you so much for this interview. And I'm
course.
so excited. Again, I'm so excited to see what's ahead for you.